Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Whitman, the National Nanotechnology Initiative has had a workforce development component since it was established. Could you please speak to the efforts on education and workforce development, and also talk a little bit about the education outreach activities at the elementary or secondary level, and how the NNI agencies such as the National Science Foundation is providing resources for teachers or informal STEM educators so they can effectively integrate nanotechnology concepts into the classrooms and activities?
I'll do my best. So this is not an area I have deep personal expertise, but I can tell you that nanotechnology, the federal government's worked hard to make nanotechnology a part of the federal-wide K-12 and post-secondary STEM education strategy. The NSF and the Department of Education have had a number of programs to do that. We and the NNCO do outreach at a variety of places. I actually personally attended the booth at the Science and Engineering Festival, which was a lot of fun. There's also NSF and other agencies support the National Nanomanufacturing Network, which also supports education. There's also EHS-related work encouraging people to learn about the safe use of nanoparticles. And again, if you want to take that question for the record, and I can provide additional information.
Okay. Thank you. I am concerned about the turning off and on, as has just been mentioned, and also in any kind of sustainability of how we can make sure there is a workforce, a research group in the future. Does anybody else on the panel have any comments?
Yeah, I'm happy to comment on that. So the National Science Foundation Nanoscale Science and Engineering Centers would devote about a quarter to a third of their budget to precisely STEM education and outreach. These programs were outstanding because you would have the latest in research impacting work being done at K through 12 level, general public outreach, undergraduate level. And these centers were designed to run for 10 years, and the problem is after those 10 years you have all this momentum, and then as you mentioned, the spigot is turned off, and that gap in funding really decimates those programs. And consequently, having sustained and predictable funding will not only influence their fundamental research, but perhaps more importantly, STEM education and therefore American competitiveness.
Thank you. What about the gentleman, Mr. Ivey, the Notre Dame graduate? Do you see any deficit in your work in the future for talent?
Yes, we see deficits in a couple of areas. One of them is in my written testimony and my spoken testimony, I highlighted the impact that people with associate's degrees have on our business. For us, this is important because these are the people that actually operate our production lines, and these people are hard to come by right now. And that's primarily because the NSF program, NAC, the Nanotechnology Applications and Career Knowledge Network, is just starting to take off. Typically in our business, we hire people with bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, PhDs. And while they may be interested for working on a production line with a robot that is applying nanomaterials to our product for a few weeks, this isn't something they want to make a career out of. So this is one thing we're particularly concerned about. I think the other thing we're concerned about in general is the issue that I'm sort of hearing from some of the other testimonies, which is spreading federal government money over too much territory. As an entrepreneur, we view our business responsibility as taking this technology and commercializing it. We don't see it as the university's responsibility to do that for us. That's why we go out and find private individuals with a lot of money. Now, of course, Uncle Sam has a lot of money as well, but that probably should be used somewhere else. And I think that's also something that needs to be dealt with on the technology transfer side.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.